You're still tuned in to News and Views. The time is 7 minutes past 9, and we're going to be shifting gears now. I think to an interesting conversation. The Easter weekend is just around the corner, and the great South African migration is about to begin. Boots are being packed, playlists are being curated, and every WhatsApp group is asking, guys, what time are we leaving? Now, I don't know about you, but I'm personally heading back home to Limpopo. Yes, my grandmother's cooking is calling. But while we're all excited to reconnect with our loved ones, we can't ignore the cold reality. Our roads here in South Africa are not always as friendly and as safe as our families. Last Easter alone, South Africa saw a sharp rise in fatal crashes. And we asked the question, how do we ensure that we all make it to our destinations in one piece without being a statistic? To help us navigate the Easter traffic with more confidence and care, we are joined by someone who eats road safety for breakfast, Ashref Ismail, founder and chief facilitator of FleetMax DriiveSMART. Ashref, Jazakallah so much for joining us. Welcome to News and Views, and I really, really appreciate you giving us your time and joining us, I think, for a very, very important topic.
Jazakallah so much, and assalamu alaikum to you and the listeners, Salailo. It's a pleasure to be with you on this Salam Media podcast.
Pleasure's all ours. Let's start with the basics. Ashraf, what is it about long weekends like Easter that make our roads so much more dangerous?
Well, it's a historical fact that the Easter weekend is a concentrated 5-day period, unlike festive season, which is considered to be from the time the schools close to the point where the industries close, going through to New Year and then reopening around the 15th. With the Easter weekend, and this year in particular, if you negotiated your leave plan properly, Salilo, you could have literally taken like 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it looks like. Now, a lot of people have done so. And of course, a lot of people take advantage of this opportunity to turn what is traditional Easter weekend into an extended long weekend or an extended holiday period. And that means that in South Africa, during this time of the year, we have a mass exodus of vehicles all traveling in various directions. You've got mine workers who are going back home to their loved ones. We've got many, many church and religious and cultural groupings all having massive gatherings. You've got Moria ZCC up in the north. You've got Shembe Church. You've got many other religious denominations also taking advantage of this opportunity to gather their faithful pilgrims as well. And then, of course, you've got the ordinary people who just want to go on their coastal holidays or coming upland here to our place in the Gauteng, or those who are actually going down to the coast.
And I think you mentioned something quite important, particularly on two provinces, KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng. Data shows that these two provinces lead when it comes to fatal crashes. But many of us, as you mentioned, will be traveling across provinces. It's not just KwaZulu-Natal, Gauteng, and Limpopo. What are some of the biggest mistakes would you say drivers tend to make on these long distance trips?
So some of the reasons for the biggest number of crashes, the most fatal crashes, Alilo, remain speeds too high for circumstances. Academics will want to engage us on the fact that, it's not speed that kills, it's a combination of factors, this, that, and the other. Mina, I'm of the view that, listen, if your speed for a particular area, even in a built-up area, if you are we all know that the speed in a built-up area is 60 kilometers per hour. If you are doing 59 kilometers per hour near a school, when it's raining, when the school is out, it is a dangerous situation. As advanced defensive drivers, we know that we have to adjust our speeds according to the circumstances. Speeding remains a huge problem, and with it comes impaired driving. As South Africans, we love to drink and drive. We take huge risks as far as that goes. We drink when we are happy. We drink when we are sad. We look for any excuse to get behind the wheel and drive whilst under the influence. That's only the liquid drinks we're talking about. Many of us are also addicted to substances, narcotics, which is very difficult to actually identify as well. The other challenge you have is that distracted driving, and distraction distractions are of a number of types. You get the visually distracted people, the auditory distracted people, the mentally distracted people, and of course, those who are physically distracted. The most common one whilst driving is the fact that you are using your cell phone, you are looking at fiddling with your car seat, your aircon, your radio, you using various controls. All those type of things take your mind away from focusing on the issue at hand, which is driving safely from point A to point B.
Mm, 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 mm. And one thing that always comes up, as you mentioned, the experts will always allude to, human error, recklessness, fatigue, distractions, and as you mentioned, also issues like driving under the influence of substances, which account for nearly 95% of fatal crashes. What can we realistically do to reduce this number? What would you say are the top 3 or top 4, top 5 non-negotiables for anyone getting behind the wheel this long weekend to adhere to?
So, Laila, that's a brilliant question. It's very, very, very important for anyone planning to undertake any long journey. The whole issue of driver fatigue, driver fitness. We all know that, like you correctly mentioned, more than 90% of all crashes are as a result of human error. The human factor still remains one of the biggest challenges. And that means when we as motorists get behind the wheel of the car, how fit are we to actually drive? And that speaks to the issue of fatigue. Are we tired? And if you are on a long journey, please break your journey up at least every 2 hours or at least every 200 kilometers. Are you alert? Are you focused? Are you sober? And are you also, like, I always say, turn the journey into part of the destination. Make it a fun thing. Don't let it be, we have got to break the record, we need to get there by so and so time, etc. Make driving to the destination part of the journey. Let it be fun. Make sure everybody is buckled up. As the driver, it's your responsibility. You are the captain of the ship. Everything from bumper to bumper, vehicle fitness, driver fitness, loads management, all the morale you're carrying with you, as well as the documentation related to that particular vehicle that you're operating, has to be in order. Do remember that, of course, over these long weekends, you're going to have multiple roadblocks, what they are called multidisciplinary roadblocks, where you'll find various disciplines actually all operating under one operation. And they're going to check you. They don't take a chance. Don't try to think, my tires are worn, but I'll just make a plan. There's no making a plan. And at these weekends, of course, the whole issue of chocho also is reduced because there are too many people watching. So you don't want to encourage that kind of bad habits as well. Just be fit, be positive, and enjoy it. I always say use the 3 P's: be polite, be prepared, and be patient on the road.
I think very, very important, those 3 P's to keep in mind. You mentioned that, there's going to be a lot of pilgrimaging from, various churches. South Africa, you have people going to Moria, people going to various church conferences across the country. Any thoughts for pedestrians and passengers, especially with taxis and buses being packed this time of the year? I think it's disturbing. Always at Easter, you'll have reports on buses and taxis killing lots of people, and I think that's one of my concerns, because I think we have more people on buses and on taxis here in South Africa than we have on private cars.
And we must remember that both passengers and pedestrians, together with cyclists and motorcyclists, are classified as vulnerable road users. Particularly if you consider that more than 40% of all fatalities on a daily and annual basis comprise of pedestrians. So we need to make absolutely sure that as drivers, yes, we need to take care of our pedestrians. We know that pedestrians can be sometimes careless, sometimes reckless, but we need to overcome that for them as well. As advanced defensive drivers, you would want to make sure that you take care of them. We know pedestrians sometimes drink and walk. We know that they jaywalk. We know that they're on freeways where they're not supposed to be. We know that they sometimes walk at night, wearing clothes that make them invisible. We also know that they themselves can be distracted with things coming out of their ears. So the fact of the matter is, we need to unfortunately overcome their errors and make sure that they are protected. A pedestrian weighing between an average 60 kilograms has absolutely no chance against a vehicle that weighs 1.5 tons or maybe even more. As
Mm,
passengers, this is for me the saddest part. That unfortunately, as passengers, a lot of us are going to be boarding taxis and long distance coaches going from one province to another, etc. And sadly, they don't have a voice. They have no say in which taxi they are going to be boarding. We know how the taxi ranks operate. The marshals are in charge. If you see one that seems a bit dodgy, doesn't look very roadworthy, you don't have the opportunity or the voice to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I'll miss this one, I'll take the next one. We know the dynamics there. We know that the marshals are going to be very rude and crude with you. You probably
mm,
won't get into one until the sun sets. And unfortunately, our appeal goes to taxi owners and operators as well as drivers. And sadly, the long distance operators, they seem to be the good guys in this long weekends. You'll see their vehicles are clean, they observing the road rules, etc. It's the local guys, the guys who are operating, chasing after the fares as much as
mm.
possible, that go through red lights, that go through intersections, that overtake on barrier lines, drive down yellow lanes. Those are the ones that we need to be extra careful of.
No, thank you so much, Ashraf. I think we're going to leave on that note. And I think a great observation there, when it comes to long distance taxi drivers and the local ones, because those ones are chasing a target literally. And I think, they stop everywhere, anywhere. And I think those are the dangerous guys. So important observation. Really, really appreciate you giving us the time. Hope you have a wonderful long weekend. And I hope we chat again in the not so distant future.
So, Lilo, take it easy. And if you're going to be on a road, make sure you and your loved ones are buckled up. It's the best thing you can do for them.
Limpopo is calling. I'm gone. That
Right.
was Ashraf Ismail, founder of FleetMax DriiveSMART. And yeah, I think very, very important insights. I think all of us that are going to be embarking on long journeys this long weekend, we definitely need to, be patient on the road, be polite. As Ashraf mentions, that I just forgot the last P, but you can check out the podcast. But yeah, really, really wonderful insights. Hope all of you are going to make it to your destination safely. And yeah, man, let's drive to arrive. Going to take a quick break. News and views continues after this.